Welcome to the Blount County Board of Commissioners Zoning Public Hearing. Before we get started, I'd like you to listen to the emergency evacuation procedures.
Before we get started, let me read the emergency evacuation procedures. In the event of an emergency evacuation, an alarm will sound. Everyone should exit the building by way of the nearest stairwell in a safe and effective manner. If the nearest stairwell is blocked by smoke, use the other stairwell. Do not use the elevator. Once you have reached the main floor, follow the exit signs to exit the building and quickly proceed away from the building. Please be mindful of others evacuating and of emergency vehicles.
Commissioners, if you would, please register your presence, and Madam Clerk would take the roll.
Chairman.
Sorry.
There we go.
Mr. Chairman, you have 18 members present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I will declare this public hearing open. And Madam Clerk, would you read the call, please?
In accordance with Tennessee Code Annotated Sections 55105 and 137-105, the Board of County Commissioners of Blount County, Tennessee will convene and hold public hearing on December the 11th, 2018 at 6 p.m. at the Blount County Courthouse Commission meeting room for the following proposed amendment to the zoning resolution of Blount County, Tennessee, being Resolution 0006010, and specifically the zoning map of Blount County, Tennessee. A resolution to amend the zoning map of Blount County, Tennessee from S suburbanizing to I industrial by the City of Alcoa for a 53.6-acre tract of land at 123 and 157 Sparks Road, Friendsville, Tennessee, tax map 67, parcel 13.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Is there anyone in the audience who would wish to speak to this matter? If you would, please raise your hand. Thank you, sir. Come forward, identify yourself, and let us know what district you live in.
Tony Morton. I live in District 6. I live at 1042 Ratledge Road, borders the proposed rezoning site. Now, do I go?
Oh, yes, sir. Go.
Well, I certainly have some concerns. Now, I understand that your initial plan is to just take the dirt off of that property for a short period of time at least, but I feel like I know what comes after a big hole. But anyway, a couple of the concerns I have certainly is traffic. From what I understand on most of these roads, the commission and the city, especially in the county, I think, request 18 feet. The widest part of that of Ratledge Road is 17. That's right in front of my house, 17 feet. Sparks Road is probably 12 to 13 feet. Certainly not two-way traffic. Another huge concern is what's going to happen to the deterioration of both of those roads. I think it's going to deteriorate even worse and even faster with the traffic, the additional traffic and the heavy traffic. The groundwater is a huge concern for me. There's a creek runs across that property and dumps down on the other side of it. I know several years ago, I've been there 41 years, several years ago, when the landfill was operation, there was the Sparks that lived at the end. That probably would have been 159. That's where the Pearsons are now. They were on a well. That well water was contaminated. Now, I don't know that the landfill ever admitted any wrongdoing in that, but they paid for a city line, water line to their house. So I'm certainly concerned about that. Now, even if it's just a matter of the dirt, I recognize that it's going to be more than just the topsoil. It's going to be taking dirt out of there. And that creek, the dust that's going to be coming from that, and certainly that means bulldozer work, and there's going to be some noise there. I've recently retired, try to enjoy the mornings, and that click, 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 and that beep, 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 I'm not looking forward to it. Now, so that's a concern for me. I don't know, and there again, even with the dirt, I don't know what you're going to do about that creek running down through there. There's certainly concern there. But the landscape of that area has been changed drastically already with the existing landfill. Now, we've got a mountain. The highest peak in the city is the landfill. That's the highest peak. When you come off William Blount Drive, what do you see? It's right there with it. Now, I know up Wallen there's mountains, but the highest hill in Blount County is that.
Sir,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, your time is up. We appreciate your input.
Well, I didn't know
Yep.
that I was on
You
the
have-
time limit.
Yes, sir, you have 3 minutes to speak.
I could have
Yes,
got
sir.
through if I'd have recognized
I'm-
that.
I'm
I guess
sorry.
I can give this to somebody else to go over.
All right,
But I do have a request in
all right. Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak? Come forward, man. Identify yourself and let us know what district you live in.
I didn't have the timer up. I had it on, but
I looked and I didn't know you could control it. I thought they did back there.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Morton. I live in District 6. I live across the street from the property that we're talking about. I live at 1051 Ratledge Road. That was my father that just spoke. That land has been in our family for over 100 years, the land that we live on, and it had been our hope. You know, a big reason we built there, my husband and I, was for country or at least suburban type living, quiet, at least less quiet, a less polluted environment away from, not beside industrialization. I'm sorry if I'm getting emotional, but as I said, we had hope for our children and our grandchildren to be able to live there and build there eventually, and that hope is pretty much lost if this is rezoned as industrial. Just the stigma of that unpleasant odor that will eventually come from the landfill and the dirt in the air, that creek that runs through that property. I used to play in that creek or near that creek with my neighbors, the Sparkses who lived there, and my sister, and when we were little, and just thinking about that and about the wildlife that's going to be affected. Obviously, digging is and dirt flying in the air and contamination into that creek. There's a family of deer that we watch most mornings go across through our property, across the street, over my parents' property behind there to the Sparks property, and to drink out of that creek, and we watch that family of deer. My children enjoy that. There's wild turkey. I know I'm being silly, but all that means something to us, you know, and the quality of the air. Several people have pools around through there, the dirt flying through the air into the pools. The quality of the air, potential respiratory problems for vulnerable populations, especially children. These are just concerns that we have. I guess that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak? Come forward, sir. Identify yourself and let us know what district you live in.
My name is Jeremy Prince. I live in District 6 also. I live across Sparks Lane from Mr. Morton. So this 12-foot road that he spoke about, I'm very concerned because I have a 2-year-old and 2 5-month-old, and we go out. We have 5 acres. We want to play. We want to run. If we have these trash trucks coming 6 days a week, I've been to the landfill entrance, and sometimes you're seeing about 60 trucks in a 5-minute period. I mean, I feel like the safety of my children are impacted by this decision. I'm concerned that they're going to add a second entrance to the landfill. I'm also concerned that the property value is going to fall significantly. It's going to be very difficult to sell. It's not going to be a pleasant place to live. And my concern is that when the property value falls, that won't get reflected into our yearly taxes. That won't get reflected into any kind of means that would be something that I could benefit from or be impacted by. But, you know, I also want to understand what kind of setback, how close can they get the landfill to our property? I mean, are we talking, according to the zoning commission, it's 40 feet from any property line. So if I have landfill, covered up sewage, essentially, within 40 feet of my property line, there's no way I'm not going to smell it and not be impacted on a daily by this. And that's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Come forward, sir, and identify yourself. Let us know what district in which you live.
My name is Lynn A. Millsaps. I live at 1108 Ratledge Road, Friendsville. That's my home place where I grew up. My dad built that residence in 1961 when he come back from peacetime in Detroit, Michigan. There's 2 other Millsaps brothers that live on a 5-acre tract that we split up when my mom died in 1999, Edna Ruth Millsaps. We broke that land up. Each party's got their own residence, their own house. And like I say, you know, you don't see very many families or brothers that want to live on their parents' homestead. My grandmother bought that place. It split up with her son, my dad, Glenn A. Millsaps, another son, which they're all gone. So the boys has got it now, and we've got our own residence. And like I say, I'm concerned about all the filth. I can get up in the morning and go to work at Walmart at 4 a.m. in the morning, and I could smell a stench. Now, I mean, it may be the way the wind's blowing or whatever, and I can remember in 1972 whenever we had a commission board listen to our arguments in 1972 over the landfill. We had over 5,000 signatures. 6 months later, hey, we're digging, we're moving a landfill in and everything else. There's got to be a better place. I mean, there's housing projects going up around Rubbermaid, William Blount Drive, behind the vocational center. If these people knowed what they should have been knowing a long time ago, you think they would have bought? Most of them's probably from out of state or whatever. But like I say, we wake up to ratty-tat-tat or gun shooting range about 350 yards from Ratledge Road over on County Farm. I mean, you know, it's a concerned issue. My kids are like 30 and 27, you know, and my daughter said she didn't want to live there or be around it and everything. So, I mean, she's a RN nurse. And my son, you know, like I say, who knows, he may not want to even be there. But, you know, it was our life stand to be there, you know, and enjoy life. I mean, I'm not retired yet. I've still got 3 to 4 more years before I even see 62. But still yet, you know, I want it to be a concern for my retirement and live there and you know, be of peace. But, you know, you all know what's going to come about. And, you know, I ain't nothing I can do. I'm just a dumb old country boy, you know, is trying to make a way in his life, you know, so that's all I gotta say.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? Come forward, sir, and identify yourself. Let us know in which district you live.
I'm in District 6. My name's Mike Millsaps. I live at 1114 Rattledge Road. And my biggest concern is, you know, when this landfill first went in up here, it's been there about 40-something years. And we can smell it. I can hear the bulldozers, the tractors, the beeping, where I'm at now, but it's bearable. But if it comes down closer to us, if I would have knew that, I would have never got that, but built my home at this property. I've been on this property for 55 years of my life. That's where I was born and raised at. I never would have built that home. Now you're coming into us. We're not coming into you. You're coming into a community now. That's the biggest concern that we have. My back porch is from that wall to that wall. That's how close I am to this line. And I know the noise is good. As a resident owner and a homeowner, I know I have rights as far as it comes to noise, dust. I'm not going to swim in a mud in my swimming pool. I won't have it. I'm not going to put up the smell. Methane that you're burning off up there, you can burn all that you want to, but it's still, even though it's covered by law, it's still, after so much period of time, it still seeps out of the ground. You have children in this neighborhood that they're wanting to move into. It says currently, we're just going to move dirt. But when the currently runs out, there's going to be a big hole there that's going to be filled back in with something. And just like Tony said, it's going to be garbage. That's exactly what's going to be filled back into this hole, and we know that. We know what's coming down the road. I got 10 more years to work, and I'm going to retire, and I want to sit on my back porch, what I paid for all of my life, and be able to enjoy it. And you can't do that when you got trucks and stuff coming in, and the roads ain't going to handle that. I know as homeowners and resident owners, we got a right with the garbage up and down the road. You go where the landfill's at now, all those homes that was up that street are gone now. Is that what's going to happen here? Or we just going to have to let our homes go and walk away from it because we want to be able to live somewhere without the smell, without the noise, without the trash up and down the streets? I've seen neighbors get up and walk up and down these streets and actually pick the garbage up out of the road. That's the county's job. That's the reason you have inmates up here that go out here and they clean the streets. But we get out and we clean our own streets because we don't want that garbage there. We want a nice road. Our road is probably the worst one in Friendsville right now. They've repaved all the way around us and we're forgotten about. Those are the things that need to be addressed.
Sir, your time's up. We appreciate your comments. Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak? Come forward, ma'am, identify yourself, and let us know where you live.
My name is Joanna Peterson. I live at 158 Sparks Lane, District 6. I would echo everything that's been said here tonight. I have concerns as well. I'm extremely close to this property. I'm right next door. And if they are widening, as they're talking about widening Sparks Lane, we're going to lose. Sparks Lane is a beautiful little road right now. It has trees on both sides of it. That's all going to be gone. We're going to be opened up to much more to railroad noise, which is already there, but even more so. I am, as the water flows whenever it rains, I'm downstream from 157 and 123. So everything that comes, every time the rain comes down Sparks Lane, everything on Sparks Lane ends up in my property. So I have concerns. I have two small children. I have a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old who love to play outside. I want them to be able to continue to be able to play outside. We are, and I will thank Mr. Morton for saying, I did not know that about my well. That's my well. That was contaminated. That wasn't, it wasn't a big issue when we moved in 15 years ago because of the city water already being in there. But if that's the case, and we're contaminating groundwater from what's already there, then I have serious concerns about the future. And as Mr. Millsap spoke, yes, we're just taking dirt out now. I still have concerns about that because of the dust. The plan is, from what I have heard, from when I've spoken to them, in 5 or 6 years to look at making a cell there. That's not very long in the life of a house, in the life of a family. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? Come forward, sir. Please identify yourself and let us know what district you live in.
My name is Mark Williamson, 1432 John Sparks Drive, District 6. Our house is currently about a half a mile from the landfill, and I can stand on my back deck and I can feel the ground shake from the earth movers. So I can imagine when these people have it in their backyard, how they're going to feel. So I simply ask you, and I think you, each and every one of you know the money that was just spent on Big Springs Road this week just to repave sections of the road from the traffic, and the majority of that is from the trucks. So I ask each and every one of you, just consider, would you want that in your backyard? Would you want to wake up to that every morning, every Saturday morning, hearing that? So please consider that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Come forward, sir. Please identify yourself and the district in which you live.
I live in District 6. I'm Larry Millsaps. I bought my grandma's old place. I bought it when I was 19 years old. I've lived there all my life. My dad, like Lynn said, we bought over her grandma's place and her dad's place. Lived there 56 years. And I used to ride that property over there when it was a farm. It was just a big holler. Now, just like Tony said, it's a big mound. There's been millions and millions of tons of garbage dumped. And now, like they say, it's right in their backyard. Or it's going to be. And we know because, I don't know if anybody remembers, but the original road come off Ratledge Road going into the original landfill at one time. Then they figured out the road wouldn't hold the traffic, so then they moved it to Big Springs. So, just like everybody said, that road's not going to be big enough. Plus, we deal with the trash trucks now. It picks up people's garbage. It blows out. That's what we deal with there already. So, it's just a concern that what's going to happen. All righty. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Is there anyone else? Seeing no hands, I will declare this public hearing closed.